Happy Friday! Thanks for joining me here. My name is Lissa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And tonight we're continuing on the Splendid Sampler 2. We're doing some free motion quilting tonight. This is what we got done last night, a fun little feather, and I'm hoping to continue it tonight. So thanks again for joining me here. Again, I'm Lissa Thomas from Penguin and Fish. And I am here every night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and that's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I hope all you guys had a great week this week. Tonight we are continuing on the Splendid Sampler. I see you guys popping in. So we did not finish quilting this last night. We had just snafu upon snafu. But I'm hoping to finish quilting it tonight. So we did kind of a feather, kind of swooping down into this block. You can see it in the light there, I think. Tonight I want to do some balloons that this elephant will be holding as the quilting, and then we'll fill in all the excess space with something else. I don't know, we'll have to come up with what we're gonna do for that. So thanks again for joining me. Tonight is the last night to get the tiger embroidery that's in the embroidery of the month section. It was kind of a second pattern that I had between last month and this month, so that's going to end tonight, and then the normal embroidery of the month, the flower garden, will go to the end of the month, end of May. So just letting you guys know about that. So last chance to get the tiger. All right. Let's turn around so we can get this guy done today. All right, I'm all set to go here. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining me here. Okay, so what we managed to do tonight last night is to go around the edge. We sewed everything down. I'm hoping that this will help keep that 13 inches instead of it all kind of pulling in as we stitch. To go with this kind of weeping willow block, I wanted to do like this kind of downward feather sort of thing. It ended up taking up this whole space. I kind of like it though. And then it's swooping. It kind of follows the circle, the arc of this block a little bit. That was a great suggestion last night. I don't remember who suggested it, but to do like the swoop to follow this arc, and I just love it. You can see it a little bit better on the back. So we swooped around, then we echoed, which just means we kind of traced the outside again a little bit of ways away. I like that look. I think that's just a really fun way to fill in space, and it helps frame some motifs. Oh, you love the elephant? Oh, he should be an embroidery pattern. Yeah, so this is the balancing act block. So all of these are from the Splendid Sampler 2. Let me grab that. So all of these are, there it is right there on the cover. All of these are from the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt book. And we are working our way through all of these blocks. I think I'm on either 50 or 51 at this point. And I'm doing the quilt as you go process, meaning once I finish a few blocks, I sew them together and I quilt them in these small little like motifs of quilting. And then I have been sewing the sets of 4 together using the quilt as you go process. So this is actually a piece of sashing that has a kind of like another binding strip on the back. And this is actually holding 2 pieces together. 2 pieces like this that would normally have like a raw edge. And normally you would finish the whole quilt top first before quilting. But with this quilt as you go technique, I get to play around on these smaller, easier squares instead of having to deal with a whole quilt. So it has been fun for sure. Be sure to check out last night's or the night before. Really probably Tuesday or Wednesday. No, do Tuesday or Wednesday's replay on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. That's where we do the actual quilt as you go, where I show you how to connect two blocks like this. Tonight we are just quilting. All right, so we left off with that feather, which was kind of fun. Now I kind of want to play with this elephant that we have here. I was thinking it'd be really neat if he was holding some balloons, because then we could have like these big balloon shapes up here, and then we would just kind of connect them. I think that might be kind of neat, and they can go off the edge a little bit. So I think how I'm going to start out, I think I'm going to just trace him. We're going to just kind of go right on the edge and trace his shape a little bit. Maybe I'll even go in here and then trace this guy too. We could trace this, and then we'll come up and do we'll just draw like a straight line, zoop, and then just try and doing some balloons and see how it goes. We'll just give it a go. I think that is the plan. So I do kind of like mapping it out a little bit. I mean, we do want to end up here so I can do those balloons. So I think we'll start here. We'll go around the top. Maybe we'll go around here, kind of do this like a figure 8 where we come down and get this pedestal and then come back up. And then we'll end up right by his nose too. I think we'll add some balloons. We'll just freehand some balloons and come back. And then I think we will, Paula, echo quilt around the whole thing, just like how we did here, how we kind of just traced around our feather with an extra little border. I think it's just kind of sweet. It's a nice way to fill in space. So yeah, I think that's our game plan, I think. All right, let's get to the machine. All right, I'm on my 1970s Kenmore sewing machine. This was my mom's college sewing machine. All right, we're going to start over by his nose here. So first thing I want to do is get that bottom thread up to the top. So I'm going to just kind of rewind. I'm just moving the wheel. And I should just be able to pull, and there we go. Let's grab a scissors here. Should be able to pull that bottom thread up. There we are. All right, so now both the bottom, the bobbin thread, and the top thread are now on the top. So it's not going to get all tangled underneath. They'll stay right here. Yes, Tara. So this is it's not an embroidery foot. It is I guess technically you would call it a darning foot. But it's like a free motion quilting foot. So what's nice about it? Okay, this is the Westerly. I don't think I have a link to it, but it's the Westerly ruler quilting foot. And really all it is a foot. It's supposed to hover a little bit above the edge. So let's just kind of lift it up a little bit. Hover a little over our surface here. And it is a perfect circle around here. So the circle is a 1/4 inch from the needle. So I know at any point if I'm like touching the edge here, then it'll be a 1/4 inch away. So that's kind of the beauty of this. So if you Google, if you wanted something like this, I mean, this is the Westerly. So I think it like West, W-E-S-T, and then A-L-E-E. The Westerly foot, quilting foot. But if you just type in, if you just Google or whatever, 1/4 inch quilting foot, you'd probably get to something like this. There's a whole pile of different feet. Yeah, Gretchen says she loves the one that looks like this, a C. So here's another one. This just hooks onto my base here, but this has this whole like spring thing, but it's basically the same concept. All that's really happening, and honestly, you probably don't even need a foot. I would, just to protect your hands, but this will help you just to kind of keep an eye on that 1/4 inch. And that's kind of what I like about it. So I'm going to just stitch a couple stitches just to get this going. All you really need to do is lower your presser feet, or your feed dogs, I mean. That's those little zigzaggy guys underneath here. If you can lower those down, all we're doing is moving the fabric instead of letting the machine move the fabric for us. So that is our big plan for the night. I'm putting on my gloves. This just has like a nice rubber to it so I can grip onto what I'm working on. One that would actually help me tonight would be a clear version of this. They do make clear ones, because then I could see this elephant that I'm tracing a little bit more. All right, so right now I'm just trying to go right on the edge of this elephant. It's a little hard to see, so I'm gonna have to look ahead at what I'm stitching. So I'm pressing the pedal a little bit more than I usually would, and moving my hands slowly. It's kind of an awkward feeling if you haven't done it before yet. All right, so I'm just literally going on the outside edge of him. I'm gonna snip this off. Boop, boop. All right. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna get his bottom feet here, and then I'm gonna come around here, and then come back up, and then around, and then we'll start trying to do these balloons. That's what I'm excited about for this guy. All right, let's get up around underneath his feet there. All right. Oop, moved a little much. Okay, so now I'm gonna come around and get this little pedestal. So every time I actually stitch through him, you can hear my machine a little bit more. It's working a little bit harder. There's actually a lot of layers to this elephant. All right, let's come up underneath him and get his little trunk. All right, so we are back at square one here. All right, now we got some decisions to make. I think, so here we just went kind of around all those shapes. So we should have the shape of him on the back here. I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna just angle up a little bit, kind of like he's holding, I want him to hold these balloons. So the string would be taut, and then there would be this big kind of balloon at the top. I think I'm gonna go over the top of him too, as if it's like in front of his ear here. So I'm just gonna angle, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go, let's just do it. Okay, I'm gonna do a straight angled line. Ah, okay. There we go. That's gonna be the start of balloon number 1, I guess. All right, I'm gonna make that little kind of, there's like a little triangle at the bottom of the balloon. Let's do that. Actually, this is how I used to draw balloons when I was little. I would draw the little triangle, come all the way around the balloon, and then come back and finish the triangle. And I think this is perfect for that. So I just went over a little bit. And then now I'm gonna do like that big balloon shape. Here it is. And come back around. And then finish the triangle. All right. Hooey, I don't know how well that worked, but let's do another one. So I'm gonna come back down. And then let's try and do one like straight up here, and we'll give it a go. All right, I think this is gonna work. I think this is gonna look like balloons. All right, let's go kind of straight up. All right, that's balloon number 2. Okay, so now this one, You know what? Balloons are kind of see-through, right? So why don't we just cut right through the other balloon? It'll be as if they're like clear balloons that we can see through. Okay, I kind of like that idea. The little crisscrossingness. So all right, let's start that triangle again. So I'm gonna just go this way. Maybe they won't cross over. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a bigger balloon. All right, so now I'm gonna go up this way. We're gonna cross over this balloon just a hair. And then come back down. And then finish our triangle. That's like where the little knot is. All right, I'm liking this. I really am liking this. So I wanna do one more as if it's gone off the side of the quilt a little bit. We could actually keep going up and do more, couldn't we? Oh, let's do that. Let's do the one going off the side, like I said, and then let's do like two more, like going way up taller through these other ones. Okay, I like that. It'll fill up more space too. So I'm trying to go right on the line here. I kind of want to tie like a little bow here. Let's do that. I'm gonna make him look like he has a little bow. With little strings. There we go. All right, that's cute. All right, and then now I'm gonna go up at this angle. All right, we're gonna make that extra kind of balloon that kind of goes off the edge. So we're just gonna kind of give the impression that there's another balloon here. There, like that. All right, so here's our 3 balloons so far. I want to do another one up a little higher, I think, though. So I'm coming back down the side. Thanks, Christy. This is definitely fun. I mean, I'm just winging this. So if you want to do something like this, feel free to draw it out first. For sure. I'm definitely playing a scary game here, but I'm trusting my like 12-year-old balloon drawing from back in the day. This is how I draw fish, by the way, too. Just like a circle with the little pointy triangle at the end. Like this is literally the same as how I draw fish. Okay, so I'm gonna do another one kind of up a little higher. The trick is this straight line. I gotta draw this straight line. All right, so now let's do another one of those triangles and we'll bloop it up. Maybe we should go higher. Should we go higher than this? I think we should go higher. All right, we'll go right there. All right, now I'm gonna do one of those circles that crosses over these other ones. Get up in this space a little bit. All right, should I do one more? I think that might be enough. I think let's do the 4. Usually I like an odd number, but I think this 4 is kind of nice. We're gonna stick with the 4. All right, so I'm gonna come back down here, and you know what? I think we will start that echoing. So I think I'm not gonna do anything in here. I think I'm gonna echo this whole shape. Let's see, what's the best plan for that? I wonder if I go up this side balloon again and then come down a ways. I think I'm going to do that because otherwise I'm kind of jumping off one of these other bits. I kind of want it to start from the edge. So I'm not very good at stitching over things I've stitched before, but I'm going to give it a try here. All right, we're off the edge now. Okay, so here's where that 1/4 inch one is going to, that 1/4 inch foot is going to come in play. The edge of this foot, I'm going to put on the edge of all my stitches here, and that's how I'm going to know to echo. If you turn the quilt sideways and sew sideways, oh, I would see a little bit better, wouldn't I? Yeah, I'm just trying to keep him upright just because I like looking at him. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of bulk in here. With the quilt, I mean, I wouldn't need to do that. I could go like this, couldn't I? maybe I should go like this. All right, we'll go upside down like this. This makes more sense. Then I have more space to move here. That's true. All right, so I'm gonna echo this whole shape, and then we got to figure out how to fill in all these other little gap areas. Maybe we'll do more of these feathers. I don't know. So I'm just trying to keep that 1/4 inch thing on the edge here. And I might go a little bit bigger just because I did with that feather a little more than that 1/4 inch. Again, I just think this is a nice way to frame stitching that you want to kind of show off. All right, got our funny little balloons here. This guy's not quite round, a little bumpy balloon. All right, and we are off to the side again. So here's the little balloons. You can kind of see them there. Oh, I think that turned out so cute. All right, now what, you guys? We have kind of this whole space here to fill in, and we have all these kind of like awkward little spaces to fill in as well. Yeah, we can. Yeah, this is what's nice. We can go in any direction. Actually, this kind of feels comfortable right here. I think we'll go in this direction here. Oh, Christy, that's awesome. Christy's planned a video craft night with her mom on Sunday. Oh, that just sounds awesome. Oh, sky squirrels. So kind of like what we did with, let's see, where's that one that we did earlier in the week? Kind of like this guy. Oops, sorry. This guy where we just kind of did a bunch of little, here's our sky, a bunch of little bumps. I guess I'm kind of comfortable with doing that, so it might be a good idea. Yeah, we could just do a bunch of bumps in here. So I'm thinking we probably want to do something maybe a little more dense because these are kind of airy. Questions, people. You know what? Just while I'm thinking, I think I'm going to echo this whole thing one more time. I'm going to echo this and then come back up on this side, and then we'll fill it in. When in doubt, I'm just adding more echoes. I actually really like how that turned out with the sunshine in our other block, or in our other quilted thing that we did earlier in the week. That double echo. I'm just going to do that now. For lack of a better decision. I get scared. I definitely get scared with making decisions in quilting still. I feel like I'm still pretty new to all this free motion quilting, and that's why I like this project. It allows me to play around with just little ideas. But there we go. We just echoed around this shape one more time. I think that's kind of nice, actually. All right. Now we got to make a real decision, though. We could whoosh down, like do some swoopy whooshes here. Whooshes. Let's give it a go. This is the part that's a challenge for me, the filler stuff. So let's just give it a go. I'm going to start with like a swoop and then come back around and we're going to just try. All right. I'm telling you, I have a hard time with all of these shapes. I have a hard time, like, figuring out how to get in and out of stuff. So these little swoopy deals, coils and stuff kind of freak me out. Like, I feel like my heart is racing to do it in the right direction and stuff. So, all right, I'm going to try and swoop in here. Somehow we got to get all these little goofy shapes. All right, we're going to try. I always feel like I'm going to get stuck. Like I'm going to get stuck in my spot. All right, I think this looks okay. And then I can kind of echo around here again. All right, I think this is okay. We're filling the space. That's what makes me happy. All right, and then I can kind of swoop back in here. All right, now I got this kind of goofy space here. What do I do there? You know what? I'm gonna add a swirl, even though we don't have swirls anywhere else. We're gonna just go like this. All right, and I guess now we're adding swirls to the rest of this thing. Let's do a figure 8. Phew, oh my gosh, I think I held my breath that whole time, you guys. So, just to fill in that little gap there, we did a couple little squiggles and some figure 8 dealy bobs there. And I ended up here. Okay, and I just have this tiny little spot to finish up. And then I think we can just travel along the edge to get to this bottom space. But hey, we filled this up. That's all we needed to do, right? I'm telling you, this is like mini Panic, all these filling things. So if that's how you're feeling, that's how I'm feeling. All right. I think we're comfortably at the edge here. Okay, I'm gonna just travel over here, and I think we're gonna just adjust our position again. So this will all get this will all get like in the seam allowance. I don't need to worry about this, but all right, you know what? I'm gonna rotate right now. Get that needle down. All right, here's all that filler that we did. Peek at what it looks like on the back. There are some figure 8s, some squiggly doos. All right, we need something in this little gap here. You know, I kind of like those figure 8s. Could we just fill this whole thing with figure 8s? Let's do like a whole pile of figure 8s. I need practice on those, right? So let's do some squiggles just because this is kind of small. Or maybe let's just make teeny tiny figure 8s. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. All right, let's do it. So a lot of these will be ultimately cut off, I think, in the seam allowance. Ooh, it's kind of fun though. Oop, that one got a little goofy. I'm gonna try and rejigger that one. This may be a silly idea, but we're giving it a go. It's kind of pretty. Now what, though? Do we add a little squiggly loops? We gotta travel over here somehow. Let's do that. All right, let's decide what to do next before I get stuck here. What do I do here? Let's meander. I'm horrible at meandering. That's just like a little stipple. Let's just try and do a little wiggle in here without crossing over each other. So I'm telling you, this is my worst thing for sure. And this stipple is a lot of times what they teach people to do first, but I'm telling you, this is like the scariest thing for me. This little like puzzle piece stipple thing. Oh, phew. Okay, I made my way out. Usually I'm afraid I can't get out of where I get into. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just continue that. Let's see if I can keep it going here. Like honestly, these scare me, this little stipple thing. All right, let's get the needle down. Okay, we are kind of on our last little section. Oh, look at all that fun filler. All right. I'm digging it. I think that's fun. Oh, stressing me out though, man. All right, we have kind of like this little corner to do. And then we got like this weird little edge here, which I'll probably maybe just try more of the stippling. Let's see. What can we do in here that's fun? We could just go back and forth like a little, like kind of a filled in kind of, yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. We're just going to try and do some straight line, back and forth filler. I think that's good. Oh, Catherine, you agree? I cannot do meander or stipple. Like, I'm telling you, like this, I'm really, really out of like this whole block. I'm pretty dang proud that I managed to wiggle my way in here and wiggle my way out. That's I don't know. That's kryptonite, I guess. All right, I am going to just do like a back and forth here. Yeah, let's just try and do, I think that'll be a neat way to call out this feather a little bit. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna kind of go along this edge. We'll do like a little, we'll make them like a 1/4 inch so I can use, I'm using my my foot as a guide, like that outer edge of the foot. I'm gonna get right on the line that we did before. We're gonna just kind of do this back and forth. I think it's just good practice on kind of trying to go straight. And I think it's actually kind of pretty, this kind of goofy little wiggle. All right, that's not bad, that's fun. What should we do for the rest of this? Just more of that? We could figure 8 our way out of here. Why don't we do that? Let's figure 8, those tiny figure 8s all the way up here, and that will kind of mimic what we did on the other side here. All right, how do I get started though? Let's... Oops. That one wasn't very good. Ooh, this is the longest little segment of quilting without stopping. I gotta breathe. I should stop before moving my hands, and I think I'm gonna now. Let's just stop. I kind of have to stretch this part out. Get resituated. All right, almost there. All right, we did it. We made it. I think we filled in every space here, you guys. Awesome. So, and we still have time that we can trim this down and maybe start the quilt as you go process here tonight yet. That would be awesome. So, all right, let's take a look. We filled it in. I'm pretty happy about that. So here's what it looks like from the front. It's kind of hard to tell because there's a lot going on here, but I always think it's kind of fun flipping it over. Ooh, that's cute. So, oh, there we are. Okay, so we can see the little elephant. There's his little balloons. Oh, it's fun. Okay, I do like this stippling though, how that worked. So where we did really dense stuff, here again is really dense stuff. Where we have that, I think it really makes this feather pop a whole lot more. So like right here, we didn't go as dense, like we didn't stitch things as closely together. And I don't think like right here, I don't think the feather pops as much as if you're looking at like right here. So that contrast from big to small and like airy to dense, I think really is something I need to dig into a little bit more. Even these tiny, tiny, tiny little stipples there. All right, I'm going to definitely try some of that contrast on some of our next blocks. Oh, fun though. How fun. I really, really do enjoy doing this. You just get to play and try some things. It's fun. All right, so let's try trimming this. We have a bunch of time yet tonight, so let's move the table out of the way. My extension table. Get this guy down here. All right. So, ultimately, I want to trim this to 13 inches. And we did stitch the outside, so hopefully it ended up being close to 13 inches. I'm hoping us tacking it down beforehand did a good job. So let's get the mat out, give it a trim. All right, I'm curious. Let's just grab the ruler. See how we did on. Oh. All right, well, we did get sucked in quite a bit because I have about a quarter inch too small on this side. So we may need to add some more white fabric to it. And it's about, it's close to 13 inches here. It's not too bad. Just shy like a quarter inch. And actually, that might be good. Once we cut this off, if we are just showing like an 1/8 inch around, then we don't have to repair it because the quarter inch will hide it. I think we might be good. Oh, that's going to be awesome. So, all right, I'm going to use this as my center. And I'm going to grab the square ruler, and this is the center. So if I want this 13 inches, then the center is at 6.5 inches. So I'm going to just measure 6.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, kind of in the center of that sashing piece, and then same thing down here. And then I want to do the same thing in the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Ugh, this is not the greatest ruler, and I kind of hate using it, but every once in a while you need to use a square. And this is actually only 12.5 inches, not 13, which would have been extra great. All right, so I think I have this top area good. I might err on the side of making it a little lower. There, okay. I think we're good. I'm going to get my cutting glove on, which is the same glove that I used here and for the quilting. Get my rotary cutter out. Oh, the big moment. This always freaks me out. The actual trimming of it all. Ooh, wiggling around a little bit yet. All right, going with it right there. Okay, let's cut this side. Let's try to get a little bit more space here. There we go. All right, we did not have a lot at the top there. Oh, but we did have all the back fabric there, so that's good. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna actually, just because it's easier, I'm gonna use my mat to measure that 13 inches. Ooh, we might need to do a little repair here. That's more than a 1/4 inch. That's not too bad though, as far as repairs go, and it's white too, so it should blend in a little bit. Okay. 13 inches and 13. Get the big ruler out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. You know, I think we do have a pretty good, well, no, I'm about a 1/4 inch here too. I was thinking I could edge it off a little this side and then trim a little bit more on the other side so I wouldn't have to repair it. But you know what? I think I'm going to have to do a little repair. So whenever you quilt, you're kind of pulling the fabric a little bit. And so these blocks that were perfect exact size end up being a little too small for the quilt as you go. So we've been having to do a little repair here and there. All right. Okay, it always looks so much cleaner and lovelier once you trim it down here. But all right, now let's do our assessment of where we might need to add extra fabric. I mean, right here looks perfect. Whenever we do these applique blocks, we've been always leaving the excess. We haven't been trimming down our blocks, so that's why this one ends up really nice. This one I think we can get away with. That's only about 1/8 of an inch. So once we sew our 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, that will be covered. This worries me a little bit. The edge of our sashing, like we should have maybe made this a little taller, but oh well, that's fine. Going up this edge looks good. So now right here looks like it's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. So I think I might want to put a sashing piece there to, like what we've been doing the last couple days to help it out. And I think right here too looks like it needs it. And over here, I think we can get away with it. Okay, so well, I'll have to get the other sewing machine out, but we do still have a little bit of time for that. So, you know, we had like this piece here. I think I'm going to just lay this right on this kind of little area here and just angle it up, and we'll fix that piece. And then I think we got to do the same thing right here. Sew on an extra little piece of white. So I think that is the next plan. So I'm done with this machine. I would use this machine, but this is the machine that, I can't sew for real on. I can only do free motion quilting right now because the feed dogs are stuck down. I mean, here's where they're really down, but even when they're up, they're too far down. I have to get it fixed, and I haven't brought it in yet. So I'm going to grab the other machine, which is just under the table here, that I can do an actual straight stitch with. So that was the 70s Kenmore. This is the 40s, the 1940s Kenmore. So same company, just a whole lot of years difference. But I can do a straight stitch on this. So this is what I'm going to use to do this little repair. And then we can start getting set for the quilt as you go. I'm using all different battings for this Gretchen. So this one happens to be like a a low loft batting, which just means it's skinny, versus a high loft, which is like that big poofy one we use. So like, look at the difference. So this one is extra poofy. Actually, I think I have 2 layers of this one in here. And then it's just the different materials that it's made out of. This one I think this is probably a polyester blend. And this one, I think this one's either bamboo or cotton. I don't know for sure. I'm kind of using scraps for all of this. But it all has to do with, you know, how warm you want it, and you know, how drapey you want it to feel. Oh, you love this machine, Kathy? All right, so here's this repair. I'm just going to try and cover up, because this is more than 1/4 inch, so I won't be able to sew it and have it just be hidden. So I'm just taking this white piece and going along the edge of where my fabric ends here. And we're going to just kind of attach this piece at an angle. And I think it's going to work fine. A little goofy. I'm actually going to heat up the iron too, because we're going to need that in a little bit. And I'm just going to sew with like an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance here. I'm just kind of tacking this on. And I think this will work. This is some of the weird repairs we've had to do. I mean, ideally, you shouldn't have to do this, but it has just turned out that we've been needing to do this for this block. All right, I think it will just, I don't have a leader. Let's just lift up the foot, trim it off, and there we go. So here's what we did. We sewed this little white piece that I had. This is actually for our sashing pieces that I have extra. So I sewed along the edge that is next to the part that's exposed. And now when I press this back, now we've covered up that edge, right? And then I'll trim this down so it's the same size as the rest of the block, that 13 inches. But that's not bad. I mean, we cut off some of our figure 8s a little bit, but not too bad. I think it's actually kind of cute. And then I think we're going to have to do the same thing. We got a little bit of a deal right here. And then here, I think, is a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So, oh, this is the one that we tried to sew last night. Let's just actually fix this now, because I think I do need a longer piece. I tried to free motion quilt this because I didn't have this machine out last night. That didn't work. So I'm just going to go a little lower. Oops, I lost my top thread here. Didn't hold down hard enough on it. Ugh, now I'm all tangled. Okay, I'm going to rethread. This machine's fun. It has all the stuff on the side here. Instead of it being on the front of the machine, it's all on the side, like the tension bit. So, all right, I'm gonna just rethread this. Go through the tension. There we go. Now it comes back up there, and we'll get it all threaded up again. I just love this machine too. It is, gosh, it's either from it's between 1939 and 41. I'm going to have to look it up again exactly when this machine was made, but this is the machine that I was making face masks on, and just knowing that, you know, someone could have been making face masks or other things on this machine, like this actual machine in World War II, just kind of blows my mind a bit. Like, these vintage machines, I think, are just so special. They all have a story, I'm sure. All right, let's try this again. You know what? And then let's just trim all this out. I'm literally just trying to sew 2 pieces of fabric together. There, let's just try and go right on that seam allowance. There, that is literally all I was trying to do last night. Okay, let's press this, and then we'll press the piece that we did here and trim that, and then we'll sew this piece onto this edge there. Oh, where did I get it? So this was at... So the textile center in town here in Minneapolis puts on like this huge kind of rummage sale. What do they call it? Do they just call it like the biggest like fabric rummage sale? It's something like that. They have a cute name for it. But they rent out like a huge like warehouse space. And so a couple weeks before, people just donate fabric and they donate just like stuff, you know, if they're cleaning like a relative's house up, they'll just like get rid of all the fabric. It's just a place for people to get rid of like old yarn, old craft supplies. And then a week or so later, they have a big sale. So then they sell everything, and then they have like this little area in the middle where people just donated, you know, old sewing machines. I mean, people just throw these things away, these old sewing machines. I mean, they're heavy. You know, no one wants to move them. They're so heavy and they take up space. So people just toss this stuff, you know? So we got this at that rummage sale, and oh my gosh, it is my most favorite thing. I just love it. So we got it at that, it's not even really a rummage sale, it's like this huge warehouse sale that they put on every year at the textile center. Gosh, I don't know if they're doing it this year though. Ooh, this is like a hair too short, but I'm gonna just still give it a go. I'm hoping any part that ends up being weird will just be in the seam allowance later. You know, the thing that we actually really liked about this sewing machine is the box it came in, me and my husband. So we're graphic designers. In school, we went to school for graphic design, and this came with a box that was hand painted for someone on their graduation. So this was someone's graduation gift. Oop, wrong pedal. I have two sewing pedals. But yeah, so it came in like a really cool hand-painted box with hand-painted lettering, and we're like, oh my god, that box is so cool. And then we looked inside it, and then this was the machine in it, and it has this is called a crinkle finish. It's just kind of like this matte, almost hammered look to it. And I had never seen a sewing machine, and the shapes of this sewing machine are just it's so angular. And you know, you're so used to sewing machines having, you know, that pretty swooping like arcs and curves, and this has none of that. And I just thought it was so cool. So we got it for the box, and we got it because what was in the box was so cool. All right, I think this will do the job for us. Getting a little bit of that repair done. All right, let's press it in and see how we did here. So again, we're just trying to get our fabric all the way to the edge here. We want this to be 13 inches, and most of it, even when it's not going to the edge, it's close enough that it'll get stitched in. At least I'm hoping so. Yeah, that's about 1/8 of an inch. So when we sew our 1/4 of an inch, we should catch that. If not, we'll have to do some other repair. But here we go. So we're just fixing the areas that are a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, we definitely got some bunching in here when I did the original sewing last night. But whatever. Once we wash it, no one's going to see any of that stuff. There's plenty of other wrong things with this quilt for someone to attach themselves to. All right, and then I'm just going to trim off that excess. and we will have a piece that is all ready to sew onto one of these other pieces, that quilt as you go process. I think we'll actually probably wait on that till we decide to work on this again. All right. So there's our couple little repairs from the back. You do see a little bit of a seam there, but whatever. And there. We just had to make this one a little bit bigger. We did that with that little white edge, and most of this is going to be in the seam allowance anyway. We really only needed like a sliver right there and like a sliver right here. But awesome. So this is all ready for us to, not this one. That one's 5 already. So this is the one that we did on Monday, and we attached it to what we already had done. And then we attached this one that we had done earlier, we attached it to the rest of it. So now this one will get, there's an old block. This one will get attached, this way, right like that. And I think we'll do that another time. Time is basically up tonight, but we did get this quilted, we did get it repaired, we did get it cut down, so this should be super easy to plop that on using that quilt as you go technique that we did Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll have another row. We will have 2 finished rows, 2 out of 5. So we are 2/5 done with this quilt about. All right, you guys, I'm gonna flip you around. All right, it is coming along here. So here's that finished block from tonight. Oh, I think in the light you can see some of those balloons. You got to catch the light just right to see that quilting, but I think I like that balloon idea. I think that's kind of sweet looking. And then from the back again, you can see it, I think, a little bit better. Fun. Oh, I just love these sizes, this size block, just to play around, just to test different ideas. This really is the quilt that I'm trying to get better at free motion quilting. A couple quilts ago, here on the half square triangle quilt. Oh gosh, what was that called? Not the triangle tango quilt, but the Charming Chevrons quilt. The Charming Chevrons quilt was my first free motion quilting, and then I've been trying it on a couple more things, but this, just because of the quilt as you go process that we get to have these small squares, I mean, it's been really like a no pressure practice session for free motion quilting. So I'm having a great time trying new things out. You know, I don't have to commit to a whole motif, so that's been fun. But yeah, I'm having a good time with this. So thanks again, you guys, for indulging me in some free motion quilting this week. Next week, we are going to be stitching the flower garden embroidery. So all the bundles are sold out now, but the PDF printable pattern is available for this yet, and we'll be stitching that up next week. So get all your embroidery supplies out. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be fun. I don't know if we'll quite finish it. There's kind of a lot going on, but we'll definitely go through all the stitches in it, and we'll do our best to finish it. So awesome. I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Good night.